Hey, thanks for joining me. Falcon Ride here. Today we're going to be looking at some lithium-ion packs. To be specific, these Auline 40,000 milliamp hour 45 amp 6S 1P packs. Well, actually, I use them in two in parallel on my long range quads, so 6S 2P. Two of these together is exactly the same as using a 6S 2P pack that just has one XT60 lead on it. Let's take a look at what you get in the box here. So there's the battery in the wrapper and a few information cards, social media thing for Auline, and a thank you, and then just an information card telling you to charge it at half capacity, so it's a 4,000 milliamp hour pack. So 1C would be charging it at 4 amps, so it says to charge this at 2 amps. It says storage is 3.64 volts, and the cutoff voltage, so when you should stop flying, is 3 volts per cell. Now I know with lithium-ion packs you can drain them down to 2.5 volts per cell. But anyway, different packs behave differently with their voltages and so on, and with a lot of the new modern packs. You can drain them down to 3 volts, and then below that they drop. They put out like 98% of their capacity before they reach 3 volts with a lot of lithium ion cells. And from my experience using these, they put out almost everything they're going to put out. 95% of what you're going to get out of it, you'll get out of it by the time you hit 3 volts per cell. Okay, the other card that comes here with it, attention please, don't be irresponsible with your battery. And then it also says, reach the better performance after the first 2 cycles of charge and discharge with low current that activates the new battery. So I did that with mine. I charged them and discharged them a couple of times with my charger. The 2 big selling features for these packs are going to be the low internal resistance and the weight. So that brings me to one of the great features about these ones. Although there are other packs out there rated for 45 amps or other lithium ion cells rated for 45 amps, the internal resistance of a battery is a really good indicator of how well it can put out current. Now, most lithium ion cells in the 21700 size will have an internal resistance of anywhere from 25 milliohms down to the best ones that I've seen so far have been around 7 or 8. Now the milliohm rating too needs to be kind of taken with a grain of salt if you're reading it off your own charger, because the actual proper ratings are done with really expensive battery equipment under very specific circumstances. The amount of current you're using to charge will also change the internal resistance measurement. So Auline says that their internal resistance is 4 milliohms, or actually they say 3.95 milliohms. I'm assuming that's, in a best case scenario. The best packs I have so far that I'm using for long range, the lowest number I've seen on them I think is 7.5. So that's on my charger, so this number is not going to match the specified ratings because I'm not using the expensive equipment. My charger is more like making a really well-educated guess, you could say. But it puts these ones at between 5 and 6. So that's a pretty significant difference. And to top that off, these cells are actually they're actually one of the lightest 21700 cells out there. So now my packs are a bit heavier, my made-at-home packs, because I do a little bit of hot glue at the ends to hold the wires, as well as a little thin bit of cushioning on the bottom. And my couple of wraps of tape is probably a little bit heavier than the just a heat shrink casing. I'll look at actual proper weights for individual cells after this. 464 for that one. I think this one's a bit lighter. Yeah, 450. 465. And then the Auline pack, 408. So that's a pretty significant difference. And so, like I was saying, I think probably 5 or 10 grams of that, is maybe even 15, is my extra padding and the glue on the ends and stuff. But that still puts these things like 30-35 grams less. One of the things here I do notice is that they use what is this, 16 gauge lead for the battery, so that saves a few grams there. I don't know if it saves really all that much. I wonder if maybe they should have gone with 14 gauge. So it was a little bit surprising to see the 16 gauge wire there, but that should be fine. I think for the 45 amps, I'm pretty sure 16 gauge wire is perfectly fine for that. And anyway, you're not going to pull 45 amps nonstop, right? Although it is rated for that. Let's see, I'll put some stuff up on the screen here so we can actually do a better comparison with individual cell weight. The lithium-ion cells that Auline's using here are definitely a step up as far as their ability to put out current. Well, at least as far as all the ratings and so on go. So I did a little test while I was flying one time just to, or how it would work out, pushing the cell a bit for the amp draw. So I did a 20-minute flight, and I think I'll show you some of the video of it here. The first 16 minutes or so, I flew kind of regularly, probably pulling about 20 to 30 amps. And then for the last 3 or 4 minutes, almost nonstop, just a couple breaks here and there, I flew at 30, then 40, then 50, and I think I even flew at 60 amps for a while. And that was with 6S2P configuration again. And again here I'm noticing the voltage is pretty high for right off the start. Like my batteries always say 4.1 or 4.15 or something. These are at 4.18. Let's even go into 1.9. All right, let's see what happens if I go up to 40, 45 amps now.
I can see you.
It's only going down to 3.07 so far. That's pretty good. .06. I'm staying at 40 amps. 88 miles an hour. I was going way faster the other time. I think I must have had a tailwind behind me when I was doing it. There, I'm up at 105 now.
.18 volts, 5,400, almost 5,500 milliamp hours.
All right. Let's go back up to 40 again.
There's that one person in the field with his car to the left of us.
I think they say that they like you to not use this battery past 3 volts, but doing this test kind of requires that I do it. It's doing pretty good.
You're at 66 amps.
Yeah.
.6,000 milliamp hours, 2.87 volts. You're at 3.1.
All right. I'm gonna leave it there.
The guys in the field off to our left. Just on the runway there.
I'll bounce back to 308 volts now. So let's just keep flying this for a minute. We'll also see what we're going to get out of these for milliamp hours. I mean, I'm down to 3 volts, I guess, and that's when they say to land, really. But if I hadn't used it so inefficiently by going so fast, I think I would have been at 6,500 at least by now.
Great.
I think my quad's calibrated a little bit low, so I think I might have used actually a little bit more than that. That's probably close to about right. Cause yeah, those did quite well for lithium-ion cells. And it's kind of surprising that they are lighter than most other ones. Yeah, so the batteries are kind of warm, but they're maybe a little bit warmer than they were before, but not much. Pretty close. And I was actually going a little bit faster at the end there, like drawing more amps than I was on the other flight. So that seems like they performed pretty well. And these cells performed quite well. I noticed the voltage on them stays high nicely. Like it doesn't drop down and sag as badly as I'm used to with lithium-ion cells. Usually with lithium-ion cells, as soon as you take off, it's going to drop to like 3.9 something. And these ones actually stay at like 4.05 or something like that. So after that 20-minute flight, I could really tell a difference in how well the voltage stays up. Like it doesn't drop as badly as it does with other lithium-ion cells when you get the amp draw up higher. So discharging and charging this again on my charger at home here, I was able to get, I think the most I got charged back into one of these was 3,670 milliamp hours. Which is not bad because you never get the full rated amount out of lithium-ion cells. For all cells, their capacity is, when they're deciding what the capacity is, they charge them at, I can't remember if it's half an amp and then discharge it at half an amp, or if it was half a C. So I'm not sure. It's either half an amp or 2 amps for this one, and just discharged at the same. So it's very gently done to find out the maximum capacity. The total milliamp hours output by a lithium-ion pack will drop as you use it at a higher current. Well set. Well, this one's got a higher voltage than all the rest. This is a new PAX though. Yeah, maybe this is a little bit silly. I'm like, my first time flying these batteries. So I'm just going for it. So that was promising that, they kind of held a good voltage there for the beginning. And I always go under 4 volts when I take off. So that's pretty good. All right, so that's about right. And my estimate in the bottom left there is 260 milliamp hours per kilometer, roughly. I'm just over 2 kilometers out, and 2.2 kilometers and 600 milliamp hours. My voltage is still staying nice and high. It's 3.94. So that's nice to see that the higher voltage a lithium-ion cell ends up putting out its capacity at, the better. A few years ago, with my very first V1 version of the Samsung 42s, I'd fly at 2.9, 2.8, 2.7, and a bunch of the battery's capacity would get put out in that voltage range. So I'm 1300 milliamp hours in and 3.87 volts. So that's really good for voltage level for now. That I'm really liking. It means that you keep that nice authority and power in your motors, because the volts is what decides how fast they're going to spin. Okay, so I'm almost at 1600 milliamp hours, 3.8 volts. The less amps you draw from your packs, the longer they last. If you fly a pack at 10 amps, you'll get more milliamp hours out of it than if you fly a pack at 20 amps. And that's kind of like a general rule I think that applies to Lions and LiPos. Ooh, a little blinded there. Kind of have this rock thing memorized, sort of. I'm at 2200 milliamp hours. It's a little more than it was for me to get up here the other time. I think I gone a little slower, or I did something a little bit different, but that's all right. Still at 3.7372 volts. That's good. 9 minutes into the flight, 2300 milliamp hours. 3.71 volts, 2500 milliamp hours. It's thinking I'm gonna turn around at like 20 or at 4,000 most likely. Or if I get to 3.4, I might turn around then, whichever comes first. Because like I said, it's my first flight ever with these batteries, so it's a little bit risky, just like jumping into, you know, full-on long range first go. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to get out and warm them up and, you know, test fly with them and stuff, and had the opportunity to get out here for this, so I'm just taking it. Look at that deep gash in there. That's awesome. Wow. I'm kind of sensing like what way the wind is blowing the quad, and I'm sort of using that, so like I'm trying to not fight it. I'm gonna try one of these ice cracks up here. 3.66 volts and 2900 milliamp hours. There's a nice one lined up. Let's try to scrub some speed so I can get through there without going too fast. We also want to keep some momentum, because as soon as you're not moving forward, it's just really hard to keep the quad as nice as stable. 3100 milliamp hours, 3.64 volts. I found a line I want to take. Trying to blow the bugs off of me. And I think this line kind of goes up towards the peak, and I think I'm going to start heading that way. Just want to, yeah, like I've been saying, I want to play it safe with these batteries since I'm just getting to know them. So far, they seem really good, like the way the voltage level stays up. It's really nice. Let's see how many milliamp hours I get out of them compared to my other ones. But oh, my screen's sliding. Wow. It was losing vertical hold or whatever this. Whoa, lost video right at the wrong spot there. Just hammered the throttle. Okay, 3.55, 3.6, and 3400 milliamp hours. This looks like it might be a nice line here. But I think I'm still good to play around here. I'm at 3.55, 3500 milliamp hours. Should be good. I'm going a little too fast. Oh, that was a cool ice bridge. Yeah, I'm going too fast. I'm like hovering on the line of losing video the whole time. So that's what I find, like I wouldn't do this with DJI, where I'm like hovering on losing video. There goes my vertical hold again. The screen starts sliding down, and I gotta switch from looking at the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen to see the bottom that's sliding in over top. Like I don't know how to explain it. Why is it doing that? It's just, it's losing sync. The sync lock is failing because it's like, you know, I'm with my video. I'm flying behind ice and water.
You never had room for that?
3,800 milliamp hours, 3.5 volts. I think I'm going to see if I can make it up to the top here. I don't know for sure what to, you know, what a must turn back kind of time would be, but I mean, it felt like 4,000 would be at least enough to be able to get back for sure. So I'm going to be just over 4,000. Let's just go for the shot at the peak. 3.4, because yeah, when I was discharging them, they seemed to really hold out in the lower voltage a bit, so I'm going to go for it. pulling a few more amps here now. And kind of a nicer cinematic, or maybe not cinematic, I don't know, whatever. A cool approach here. Full video loss there again. Missed my nice approach on the tower, but 4,200 milliamp hours, 3.4 volts. I think I'm just gonna head back here and not push my luck too much here. .39, 3.4 volts, 4,300. Should be all good. I think there's some light getting through in this gully now. I don't know if it'll make it a little easier to dive. Freaking bug on my forehead right as I start to dive. Little bastards. Oh, it's really kind of disorienting trying to tell how far down you can get in there, because it's just like rocks, and you know, with the digital setup you'd be able to get way closer in there.
Whoa. There's the iceberg. You could totally do that one. You would lose signal on this for sure. Because you're dipping down just past where you have signal.
Oh, I really want to slap this bug off my head. Right on the top of my head. Oh. Okay, I got it now. I just had to make the whole gully dive. That bug was just freaking tap dancing on my head the whole time. All right, so I'm 4,700 milliamp hours in, 3.26 for voltage. So yeah, these seem to be doing really well for the voltage level for how many milliamp hours I am in. So it seems to just be going down really slow still. Like the voltage isn't dropping, it's just slowly going down, because that's like, you always want to know, there's often a point with a lithium ion cell where once you get to a certain voltage, it'll just drop fast after that. And I have not reached any kind of thing like that yet. It's 3.17. It's going down a little bit quicker than it was before now. But it's not bad. Still hanging in there pretty well. So I'm going to sort of cruise around here a little bit. If I flew to 2.6 or whatever, I'd probably hit 6,000. So there I've 6,300, and that's, so actually those did do better than my P42A cells. Yeah, although these are newer, but that's good for a first flight for comparison to start here. Did a 25-minute flight there with those, with 2-kilometer elevation gain. The flight distance was 17.1 kilometers altogether. But I was doing a lot of like slow flying around there, right? Wow, that was good. Those batteries worked pretty well. Oh, and what else is good to see is the GoPro is still recording. Yeah. All right, just got back from flying up there with the Rad Lion and the Hero 11 Mini with GemFan 7037 props, and using these new Auline A45 45 amp rated 4,000 milliamp hour packs. Whew, that was a nice flight. So to wrap things up, I'd say these are pretty good lithium ion packs. I'd probably rather get one of these than one of the packs made out of the Samsung T3 lithium ion cells. If I was able to find a lithium ion pack made out of the Molicel P45B cells, I would probably rather get that over this. But I don't think anybody makes packs out of the P45B cells yet. They're really expensive still, so if they did, those packs would be much more than these. So for the price, these are one of the better packs you can get. Personally, myself, I've always preferred getting lithium-ion packs with a better amp rating than ones with a few more milliamp hours packed into them. Ever since I had this one flight where I had to go full throttle for about 30 seconds to escape some really strong wind at the top of a mountain, I've always gone for high amp output. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed the flight footage and found the information in the video helpful. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.